Alright, welcome back to the OM606 W126 swap. We ended up getting the front radiator in, condenser, turbos on. Made a couple custom brackets here for the air intercooler for the turbo. Right here I'm just measuring to make sure that this is a 3-inch outlet for the exhaust. Just writing a few things down that I needed for the exhaust system. I figured it's going to be a 3-piece exhaust system, and I'm going to be keeping the factory exhaust system, like the muffler, the cat. We don't want to, break any rules or regulations, so we're going to keep it factory. Next, I'm right here trying to put on this little O-ring for this little adapting flange that goes onto the HX35. Of course, you got to throw a little bit of oil on the O-ring so that way it doesn't go in dry and it makes a good seal. As you can see here in this video, it was a pain in the behind to get on. I was struggling for quite some time trying to get this thing to seat properly and mount up flush. What ended up happening is the dang O-ring kept sliding off that small little lip there that you can see on that flange. So I wasn't making a proper seal. As you can see, I'm struggling here in this video with this dang thing. Who would have thought putting a little O-ring on the HX35 like this would be so many problems for me.
It's on there.
I couldn't reach the dang thing. I tried to reach the cart with my foot. I couldn't. So I had to just reach out with my long arms. Got the cart closer to me so I can get that flange and bolt ready. Because right here I have it kind of seating just properly. Still struggling, as you can see, to take out the bolt. I was not having the best time with it, but we just kept on pushing through and made sure to get it on there as soon as we could. Otherwise, that little O-ring was going to slip off. I think right here in this part of the video, the O-ring actually came off, and I had to re-seat the O-ring on that little adapting flange. That little adapting flange is actually going to be for a 2.5-inch exhaust system. So that'll be going to my air intercooler, which is mounted on the front of the car. Yeah, see, as you can see, I was struggling. I ended up getting it on properly, got the flange on this time around, and when I go to try and put the bolt through, guess what? The dang thing falls to the floor. Oh man, at this point, I wasn't even mad. I was just laughing at it because, it's never easy when you're working on cars. But I ended up pushing through, succeeding in putting the bolt through. Ended up putting the nut on it and tightening it up, and it's seated properly. One thing I made sure to check after I got the nut and the bolt on there all together is I made sure that the flange was flush with the outlet for the turbo. If it wasn't flush, that would tell me that the O-ring is actually getting pinched or it's not in the proper position that it should be in. Right here I'm adjusting the clamp so that way it's easier to get a wrench in there to tighten it up.
It's on there good.
I ended up getting a flashlight on it just to double check, make sure everything was seating how it's supposed to be. It looked good to me, so I ended up getting the Milwaukee M12 ratchet wrench out to tighten her up. It was a 10 millimeter. Now that it's nice and tight, we move on to the next part, which was running the charge pipe tubing that goes from the turbo to the air intercooler, and then from the air intercooler to the intake system, which you'll see in this next clip after I go digging through this box here that has a few extra parts from the donor car that I pulled the engine out of. That's why it's always good to have extra parts, so that way you don't have to buy some extra stuff. You can just reuse old parts. Okay. Cutting some of this away. Following the line. Get back to you. Alright, we're checking fitment. Does hit a little bit there, but I'm okay with it. Alright. Got the 45 set up. Let's put the 90 on. Looks good. Alright. Let's get to figuring out. Alrighty, I'll get back to you. This is what we got so far. We use the one with the 90. Get a pipe bender and bend this at a 45. Should line right up. Alright, so next day, cut up a couple pieces of tubing. These are our cut pieces to make the custom. Tacked it together. Let's see if it works before we fully weld it. If we like it, we weld it. Ugh. Careful, because it might be a little hot. Oh, would you look at that? Custom. I thought we would go higher with it. Let's go. Could even cut some of this off. Looks like we've got the turbocharger pipe completed. Let's go ahead and weld her up, and we'll get back to you when it's done. Aluminum is a pain in the behind to weld, so we always take preparation serious. Let's clean it up first. Get a nice good clean job. 100% acetone. Let it dry, and then we're ready to weld. Perfect. Alright, we got it all welded up. Usually aluminum, I'm not a big fan of welding, but hey, came out pretty good this time. Not bad at all. We'll let it cool off and then we install. Update. Got this one in. Plumbed up. I just gotta make a little bead on this side for the hose clamp. And then we got the other side in too. Got it here, all the way up into there. Got the intake on, it's all hooked up, but we gotta make a bead on this one, and a bead on this one. So there we go. It's done. So these are the beads that I'm talking about. We put these on the charge piping so that way when you build boost, it doesn't blow off any of the silicone connections. These are some pictures of the final finished product. Got it all hooked up. I ended up putting a couple little supporting brackets onto the turbo side here, mounted to the frame for some extra support, and then I ended up putting one on the intake side over here, again for some support. Stay tuned for next episode.